Hey, welcome back to Pints and PALS. I'm your host, Jeremy, and with me this wonderful evening is my co-hosts, Jason and Mike. What's going on, boys?
Not a whole
Not
lot.
much.
Another day, another dollar.
Yeah.
Another day, another dollar. That's usually how it works anymore, right? I feel
Yeah.
like that's all we ever get paid is dollars. I mean,
Yeah.
it used to be peanuts, but now it's dollars. So rice are moving up in the world. Did you boys do anything fun this week at all, or anything fun planned for the weekend?
Um, yeah, that's the 4th of July weekend here. Well, everywhere. Well, in the United States, I suppose. All our foreign listeners.
Yeah.
It's the 4th of July. It's when we celebrate independence from you guys. No. Um, we called an audible and decided to take a trip instead of going to my aunt's house because like so if you're not paying attention to like some of the news like I was and didn't know what the hell was going on, the sky is turning like an orange color in Michigan and they're like standing outside for like 3 hours, the equivalent of smoking like three trash cigarettes essentially. I was like neat. And then it's supposed to rain all weekend, so we're like, yeah, let's just go. It's our anniversary weekend as well, so we're going out to
Happy anniversary.
thank you, to Grand Rapids and staying in the downtown area for a little bit.
Cool. I'm planning to do some cleaning, spring cleaning in the middle of the summer, I guess. But no real crazy plans.
All right, good plans. So, see, yesterday I went to my buddy's opening for the brewery up in Kingsport, Tennessee.
Well, how was that?
It was good. So they so that none of their beer is ready to be served, so they have a lot of guest beers on tap.
Okay.
So I got to try three from Bay Mountains Brewery, which I've never had, which is a little further up in Kingsport, which were all good. It was I had a orange or blood orange Heffy. I had their Pilsner and what was the third one? It's a darker beer. I don't recall. And then there's this coalition of brewers in this area I didn't even know about. They're called like the Tri City Brewing Coalition or something like that. And so all these head brewers will get together and they'll try to come up with like a crazy beer. So they came up with a Groot. I've heard of Groots and I've always wanted to try one. And this was, to me, it tastes like a saison. Like you
Mm.
could not convince me otherwise. So for those who don't know what a Groot is, I won't get too far into it. So maybe we can find like a commercial brand and try it. But basically, a Groot is the beer that has no hops. It's just
Whoa.
spices and herbs. Just because that's all they used back in the day. Because hops is fairly new, right? It's like 1200s, something like that. You know, when like they started using hops. That's a whole other story too. I can get into. It's all political and religious and stuff like that. Why they?
I just thought it was some sort of
where they get
living
from-
tree.
No.
Oh, I am Groot.
Yeah, I am Groot. But yeah, it's just an old style of beer, and that dude, it was so good though. I wish I had a can. I definitely would want some. For the weekend, I want to go golfing. I have 4 days off, and like Mike said, even down in Tennessee, it's supposed to rain every day. So I think I'm gonna wake up early every day, and it was nice. I'm gonna go. I haven't golfed in 3 years or so, so
Oh,
I've been itching to go. I have clubs I never used. I bought some brand new balls beginning of the season. I've yet to. I think I hit them once. So I'm excited about that. I got front porch I got to finish, and my oldest kid's coming in Monday for the 4th of July, so I'll have a full house, which I'm excited for.
busy.
So I definitely
Guess,
sound, yeah, so I'm gonna be busy for you guys.
yeah. Speaking of golf, yeah, I guess I am actually going. I'm going golfing. As by that I mean I'm going to the country club. I'm going to drink while my friends going golf because I don't golf. And it's too hot to ride. I mean, it might be raining as you said, so
Yeah,
too hot to ride around in the golf cart.
I like it. My grandfather, that was like his sport, so he taught all of us grandchildren how to golf. So it's just one thing I just always enjoy doing. I suck at it.
I bought some clubs, and my father-in-law is or used to be the golf coach for the high school.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay.
So he really, really wants me to go, and I really want to go too, but I just can never find the time. It's just like a long day of doing that kind of stuff. So I was probably just going to go drive. I got at work, my 15-year anniversary or whatever, I got a set of golf clubs. I got to pick it, and I picked golf clubs because of my father-in-law, and I wanted to go. My wife, she likes scrambles where it's like you hit the ball and then just like follow it till like wherever it goes, and then you start from there, and then whoever hit the best ball, you use their ball kind of thing. She's like, well, at least once in a while, I may not hit the best ball within one out of the 40 different drives. They actually use her ball. So she's like, I felt good. So that's the kind of stuff that I would be interested in, I think.
I did what's the it was a Dave and Buster's style thing. It was Top Golf, but it was in a casino, so it was like very mini or whatever. And it was like all like a VR screen or whatever. You're hitting balls at it. I learned I'm terrible at golf. That's about all I got out of it.
Nice.
So maybe we'll transition to the adult beverage we're going to enjoy this
yes.
evening. So tonight we're going to indulge on some Jolly Pumpkin. And where was this from again? I don't remember. You guys remember?
The brewery is actually in Dexter, Michigan, and then there's like a tap room in Ann Arbor. Is where I've had it before.
As all of our beers, or half of them, as we counted today, are from Michigan. So
Right.
Yeah, they've grown a lot in the past years. They are kind of everywhere. Grand Rapids, where Mike's going. They're Detroit.
I was not a fan back in the day, but I think back in the day, being like 10 or 15 years ago, they were very microbrew tasting, meaning like I think that either they didn't find their hops, or not their hops, but they're like just their flavor, right? It just all tasted kind of the same. So let's get into this.
So this is probably gonna say it wrong. Oro, Wild Artisan Golden Ale. Oro.
Wow, that's spicy.
It says right on the can. Spicy and peppery.
Almost like a sour.
It is, well, so Jolly Pumpkin, everything is sour.
Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Definitely stronger. It's almost like
Yeah, it's 8%. They said on this can. 8% ABV.
Oh, I actually get. Now, is this kegged in wine?
I think so. They said they're barrel aged
I
in
get
oak aged barrel, yeah. Aged.
I get like a wine kind of flavor.
I smell the wine.
Yeah.
That fits your
very-
whole can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a giant tube.
I know, but the way you're holding it, it doesn't like this didn't fit the whole can.
Jeremy, did yours?
Oh yeah.
Get a bigger glass. Oh, no, you never. Yours.
Oh, that is.
They're sours.
That's
So
very,
Jolly Pumpkin
very sour.
does.
I was not-
Oh wow. It's not sour as I thought it was gonna be. Because most sours I can't even swallow. What were you gonna say, JZ? I'm sorry.
I've when I first went to Jolly Pumpkin, again back when I wasn't drinking, all they had was sours. Now, if you go, I do think they do some other stuff, but it's I think it's still going to be made with their style of beers are all going to be those the farmhouse ales or whatever.
Yeah.
What is it? Didn't they use like natural yeast or something?
Yeah, wild yeast is what it says.
Wild yeast.
So,
Okay.
So I wonder if this is different every year, because I assume wild yeast is just whatever they find within the region they're brewing the stuff in.
I can't tell. It looks like there might be like a big cake at the bottom of this.
Feels like
What?
it. Kind of has a little weight.
I don't know. Not really.
No.
I think the weight's from the label, because the labels are like the. So I think that a lot of breweries are doing this now, where they're just using like a generic can, and then in their process they put a sticky label on it. I'm guessing that saves money, especially when your taps or your beers potentially change a lot, or you change your logos a lot. Which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing for breweries to really kind of change their style, because I would have never the can, it just says a little bit up here, but if this is facing me, I would have no idea what that was. I would have never.
I would have bought it based on the can alone. That's how I buy my bottles of wine.
Right.
What is the coolest name? What is the coolest art?
So you have Snoop Dogg staring at you like, I'm buying that one.
Right.
So when I see Jolly Pumpkins, the first thing that pops in my head, I'm David Pumpkins, and I'm gonna scare the crap out of you.
Such an awkward SNL
I
skit.
love it.
Okay.
So stupid, but I love it. I watch it every year.
I'm David Pumpkin.
That is
It's definitely. It's funky.
Yep.
It's not super sour, but it's definitely sour.
I
I
get a
get
lot
wine
of
notes.
the
and I don't
on the
like
back.
wine.
I
On
definitely
the
get
back
the
end,
wine. Yeah, exhale is very wine.
I get a lot of the Belgian wheat or something. At the as I breathe out the.
Right.
It did say on the, for whatever reason, on Untapped, it says it's a, what did it call it?
Belgian
Belgian
strong?
strong golden
Belgian
ale.
strong.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
there's
really know
so
what
many
that
different
means.
styles. So many different styles when it comes to like the golden ales.
Yeah.
But basically, for the most part, from what I understand, they're just a blonde for the most part.
Okay.
But that's not necessarily true either.
Right.
So sometimes they could also fall under the category of American Golden Ale, which is just a what did it say? Like in the 1970s and 80s, was just an approachable craft beer. So it just kind of got its name from its color of being golden in color. It was actually categorized as a pale ale, which this definitely is not a pale ale at all. Like there's
No.
no super strong hops. There's none of that.
It looked very hazy to me as I was pouring it, but it's kind of cleared up.
Yeah, the mine's really clear. Like you
Yeah.
can see my hand
Mine is
through
not.
mine.
Mine is very cloudy.
That's interesting. Is there a date on these?
Yeah. Jay-Z or Jason and I got a
I can't read it.
4-pack. These ones say 4/25/23, so that's probably a brewed on date.
And it was brewed in Dexter, Michigan.
Yeah, mine's all smudged. I can't read it. So maybe mine did settle out. Maybe that's why my bottom feels a little heavier. Maybe some of that yeast or wheat or combination of both is just gonna worked its way out. But also, I had this in the fridge since March
Right, that would do it.
for a very long time. So that
Do you have
is,
your stuff all sitting upright in your fridge?
yeah. Oh no, I have a big old thick layer down there.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I have everything setting up for sure. I don't. The only way I'd ever do like a bottle on the side is if it was like a, actually it wouldn't even be in the fridge. So like if I was making my own saison, I would put it in on the side and then I would just turn the bottle every so often. So as I'm fermenting it, the yeast never actually sits all the way to the bottom of the bottle. I can actually just kind of keep it suspended for the most part.
Ever since Holmes Brewery, they did it was a fruited sour with Mortalis Brewing, I think. And when you picked them up, they said, now if you're going to store these for a while, store them upside down. So now I just do this all of my like IPAs and all my sours. If you go in my fridge, you're like, what is wrong with this guy? Like all his beers are upside down.
Did they say why though? What was the effect of
They
that?
did, but now I just do it. I don't even.
Okay.
I think probably how it settles. Maybe because once you flip it over, it'll pull all that stuff down through it, so you're not getting because they do separate a lot.
So there's that one brewery in Michigan. It's like they have like M22, M44. They're all
Yeah.
like all highways. But
Yep.
if you actually read the can, which I always forget to do, they actually they say to roll it
Yep, they do say
for
roll
like
it.
a little bit, and then you pour it. That
Yep.
way you mix all the the yeast and.
I got in the habit of doing that too. That one's Old Nation in
Okay.
William. I don't know, somewhere between
Yeah,
Lansing and.
I got a B43, which was like one of the spring beers that was in the area.
Mhm.
I think I gave. Oh no, I don't know if I gave them to you. I think I just got one.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But
Well,
this
I mean,
is good. Definitely get the wild yeast. Sorry, Jeremy, to interrupt you. But
No, you're
yeah,
fine.
It's farmhouse ales. The sour taste. It definitely is. It can be a
They're
lot
all over the
sometimes.
place.
Yeah,
They're all
it's.
over the place.
But
'Cause my-
it's impressive how they can be consistent. I guess, as you said, if it is a wild yeast, and
Yeah.
this they can all year now. I know it.
Okay.
It didn't used to be, but now it's something they bring back, and it's.
Well, I wonder if it's a wild yeast they caught and they've cultured, so they don't have to catch it again.
Maybe. I guess it
Right.
have to be.
Right, because that way, I think that'd be the only way you could keep the same, consistent yeast strand, anyways, for the most part. Now, one of my home brewers, I don't want to say his name. He makes a lot of crazy beers. The brilliant brewer, and he makes something. He makes something really close to this.
Does he put them in barrels? Like, how do you?
No,
Because
so I think because the one I'm thinking of that smells a lot like this one. I think it's called like bottle dredges. So basically, what he'll do is he'll take a can like this, and they'll like probably cut it up and scrape out the yeast, and they'll have
Okay.
like another beer, scrape out that yeast, and it'll kind of combine these yeasts together. It's like this mixed culture of yeast, but I mean, it has a lot of this funky, sour, almost like floral bouquet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to describe, and it's
So the
8% too, which is kind of crazy because it doesn't taste like an 8% beer.
Does not.
so you're saying the sourness comes from the yeast?
I'm willing to bet, yeah, because the hops it uses wouldn't add that much sour. Holotar and Tetnane, which is those are noble hops, which aren't known to be very strong. They're sour.
So
Crystal hops, I'm not sure. I would have to look that one up. I'm not sure what crystal hops would bring to the table.
in my limited brewery tours, I've gone to
Mhm.
Trogs Brewery in Pennsylvania,
Mhm.
and Tired Hand maybe. They have they're giant wooden structures outside of their facilities where they store beer. And it's just
Mhm.
like a giant barrel. They're not even nailed together. They're just like held together by the pressure. They're made in Germany. They I think the wild yeast interacts with the wood and it pulls in some of those flavors, and I think that also changes it. That's what it does some crazy stuff on like the microbiological level. That's I guess I am no
Yeah.
expert, but not even a
Oh, I'm
yeah.
willing to bet. Yeah. So the crystal hops actually says like some of the bittering agents would be black pepper. So that's probably where
Hmm.
they get the peppery from and stuff like that. That's the hops I wasn't sure of. They said the other two aren't really that strong of a hop. But they've won a lot of awards, I've noticed, or at least JZ was talking about earlier. Like they were like the top three beers in Michigan back in 2020, which is pretty interesting since the pandemic was going on and Michigan was pretty much shut down, right? So
Right.
Yeah. But
they still make.
that was even that was like at a world renowned, I'm trying to find what I found, but like that was like in the world, not just like Michigan, but like they ranked,
Oh,
like
okay.
took medals. I thought. I'm
Let's
trying to
see. Hong
find it.
Kong International Beer Gold Medal in 2015. They won one there.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It was the Great American Beer Festival. They took gold for this. This was in 2004. So this is an old style of beer, but now they can it every year. And then bronze in the bronze medal in 2005, and that was for a Belgian and French style ale.
Hmm. Yeah, it's almost. I mean, now they're starting to warm up just a little bit. If a few degrees warmer, like it's not too far from some crazy saisons I've had too.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to explain to Mike, 'cause, like the one me and Mike had, the saison Dupont, which I think is a great starter to saisons, but then they just get funkier. Or farmhouse ales, whatever you want to. Well, I guess saison is its own style, but for farmhouse ales, yeah, I don't know. I'm really digging this one. I'm glad my cousin gave me this one.
I'm it reminds me of something, and I've been trying to like figure out what it is that it reminds me of for this like entire podcast, and I just can't.
You're like deep in thought, like
Yeah, I can't put my
sipping, like
finger on it. I'm like, this tastes
It's
like
so many things
something.
going on. Yeah,
Right.
so
could
many
it
things going
be
on.
I could say it'd probably be similar to like a cider almost.
Yeah, I
Like
think so.
the tartness, and then like a
A
wine, as you
white
heard me
wine,
say. Yeah, yeah.
a white wine, maybe kind of. I get that too.
Mix both a cider and
Yeah.
a white wine, and there you go.
Now, if Mike's dad's not impressed by our description of this beer in this episode, might have a word with this man.
Yeah. I don't know if I necessarily get pepper.
I smelled
And
the
I don't
pepper on
know.
the in it at first, but don't taste it.
It's very mild. It's like way
Yeah.
after the fact, like after you've already been talking for a while. It just kind of, for me, I get like in the sides of my tongue. It just for the most part, it's kind of where I pick it up at. Like spicy, I really don't get spicy unless they consider the peppery being the spicy part of it, which whatever. Um, Large oak casks. So I wonder if the oak casks are charred or not charred. Because
Oh,
if it's
that's
charred, I would figure to be darker, right? Because
yeah.
the color would leach in. So what if it's just plain old oak? So it sits in
Can
there for
you
6 to 9 months.
could you filter that off? Sorry.
For
Is
the
that something you?
color,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, but it's not filtered though. Yeah, I wouldn't think that that's filtered.
Oak aged can conditioned. So what does canned conditioned mean? I'm sure I've asked this before.
They carbonate in the can. I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay.
So, and you'll even see like re-fermented. You're like, going, what do you mean re-fermented? But it's the same thing. Because it fermented over here, and they put it into this vessel, and they just fermented it again. Yeah. Where like the other way is pumping CO2 or CO2 nitrous combination. Yeah, I don't know. I think this one's not a bad one. So you said they're really known for sours overall. So
Oh, yeah.
It's like Holmes Brewing.
Holmes is known for IPAs.
Is it? I thought it was just basically everything you guys ever got there was sours. I thought.
No, that's what I get because I love their sours. No, but Jolly Pumpkin is farmhouse style sours. They do other things. They do I don't think I got it, and I can't remember the name because it was so long ago. But they had like a special tap at the end. I'm like, ooh, what do you guys pour in there? And it didn't sound good to me at the time. I think it was like 100 degrees out, and it was a barrel aged something, and it looked like motor oil. I'm like, I don't want that right now. But no, Jolly Pumpkin's a really cool spot too in Ann Arbor. At least that's the only one that I've been to, I believe.
Right.
You're like right downtown. They have a really cool rooftop. I know the Detroit one has like a bunch of their pizza's really good, aside from their beer. And then I haven't been to the Grand Rapids one. I didn't even know there was one there. But
So is this the one you were telling me about a couple years ago that used some of their spent grain in their pizza dough, or was that a different brewery you were talking about, Jason? It was in Ann Arbor, and I remember you saying they used some of their spent grain in their pizza dough.
so the Ann Arbor one doesn't have. Well, it might now, but it didn't have pizza. So I'm gonna guess that was.
Okay, so it's not that one. Okay, yeah, I'm just getting it mixed up with
Now I
something
gotta
else.
Google Ann Arbor brewery.
Yeah, I could have sworn this what we're talking about. This was like maybe 3-4 years ago. I don't even know. I'm not sure if I was even living here. Maybe I was. So, Mike,
Maybe it was.
what do you think since it's been a little bit? I know your initial look on your face was like, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, because my wife likes sours, so I'm always trying sours, and she's got stuff that are way more sour. She would probably love this beer.
Yeah, I could drink this one. Most sour
And
than
I
all
can
time.
drink this one. It tastes like a good summery kind of beer, like outside, but it's a little high in the ABVs.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and then drinking a can like this, which is like a can and a half essentially of beer at double the alcohol content. So it's like drinking like 3 beers. But when you're outside drinking it and it's hot, you're gonna drink it real quick.
Yeah.
So that's the only kind of downfall. But I think that ultimately this is I like the saisons though, or the saison Dupont that we did. I really like that because it's got a little. And that might be what this reminds me of, and that's why I can't think of it because I only had that one beer ever. And she might not like it actually because she didn't really care for that saison Dupont. I don't.
That's
remember.
true. That actually kind of surprised me. I figured she would like it.
She doesn't. I don't think she
her-
liked the funkiness of it.
I need to give you guys some of my sours then. If I didn't realize she liked sours.
Yeah, she loves them. Perrin makes a one that she can have like a little glass of. It's called Rosling or Riesling or Ros something.
It's a wine, I guess.
It's kind of like a wine, but it's so sour that she's like, I can only have like a half pour.
Oh wow.
So the place I went the other day, it was by my old house in I forget what the hell.
Keller?
Beer Keller, yeah. That place, they poured me a 13-ounce Bourbon County, and I'm like, that's like your glass full of Bourbon County. I was like, that's too much Bourbon County. But then I looked, and their 13-ounce was $13, and their 6-ounce or whatever was $6, and I'm like, that's cool. I'm glad that they are doing $1 per ounce or whatever they're doing, and they're not like charging you more for a smaller pour. I was really happy when I saw that. I hope that more Michigan breweries and beer places start doing that.
So like down here they call them half pours. They're really not. They're like 5 ounces. Is what they are. You're not actually getting 8 ounces or whatever. But it's about at the high end it's $1. I've seen all the way down to about 50 cents an ounce. It seems to be closer to about more accuracy to it. What I was gonna say was Uriah and Michael did give me a sample of their their saison that they're making. So that's about 3 weeks, and he uses a brand new yeast. The name I don't remember at all, but they gave it to me, and I smell it. I'm like, oh, this doesn't smell like a saison. This doesn't smell nothing like a saison. I'll smell it again. And Todd, my old president, he was sitting next to me. He's like, so what do you think? I was like, I smell banana. It's like I smell a Heffy. I don't get no clove, but I smell a Heffy. He said he got the same thing too, and he said he talked to Uriah about it. Uriah thinks the next 2 or 3 weeks that smell was going to go away, and you're going to get like the funky that you should get from said yeast, which I can't remember the name of it. So I'm hoping that club meeting is going to be at that brewery, so I can try it again and see what it tastes like. Because like I said, it tasted so much like a Heffy. The biggest thing that it was missing was the wheat. Like, they didn't have like the creaminess, and it didn't coat the tongue. It was just had that strong banana smell and was just dry. So
That's weird that it was already
really
dry, though.
strange.
You wouldn't think that would get any. If it were dry,
Right.
you wouldn't think you would change much because it seems like that's
Mhm.
already fermented out. Is it? Are they
Yep.
aging it in something or?
Yeah, just in a bright
Huh.
bright keg or bright tank. Bright tank, that's what they're called. Which does a little bit of both. It like helps clear up beer, does fermenting, it does some other stuff too. Some breweries would just serve right out of the bright tank, which is pretty interesting because I'm gonna hold like 30 gallons of beer. Pretty cool. I have actually more than that, probably more than 30 gallons, I'd say. Maybe 300. I don't know. It's a lot. But well, yeah, and I think it's a pretty good beer. I think we covered the high points of it for the most part.
One thing I do want to mention, so it's
Yeah.
actually called. So it just says Oro on the can, but it's called Oro de Calabaza, which means pumpkin gold. Which I thought
that
was
makes
kind of
sense.
cool. Yeah.
Or golden orb or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw that on Untapped. It was named something different than what's on this can. So then I was wondering if I pulled up the wrong one, but it's the same, all the same logos and stuff.
Right.
Did you have one did you look up a recipe for this?
I looked up a recipe. I didn't make one. I looked up one. I did it really, really quick and dirty. One of my favorite YouTubers, his name is Martin Keene. You should look him up. He does 99 beers in 99 weeks.
Mhm.
He goes through the whole, I think it's 2018 BJCP style guide, and he brews all these beers. He doesn't brew anymore. He does stuff for Brewlosophy now, but yeah. So he learned a lot. So I kind of just jacked his recipe. So he uses about 5 pounds. So this is gonna make like a 5-gallon batch. So 5 pounds of Mare's Otter, which is the hop I really enjoy. He's also used 4 pounds of 2-row, which is just another really base malt for the most part. Uses 1 pound of white wheat. I've not used white wheat yet, so what I assume is probably more for color and maybe texture. Maybe it's just a lighter of a mouthfeel. And then he uses Fungal hops, which is more of I think it's a UK hop. I think it's from England. And then he uses Target hops twice, and I'm not sure what a Target hop is. So I maybe would substitute that out to get that spiciness. I probably use that Crystal hop because I'm not sure what Target brings to it. Then he uses a package of London Ale 3 Y yeast, which you could probably use some farm yeast or maybe a saison yeast instead as like a substitute if you don't want to use that one. But yeah, that's kind of what I came up with. It's a great video. I've watched it like a few times. I just never made one myself because again, it's 8. I think his 8 some odd percent. That's a lot.
I
Quite
think
high.
I think I caught the tail end, not the change the subject from your recipe or his recipe,
That's
but
fine.
I caught the tail end of his doing the 99 beers or whatever. He seemed exhausted from doing that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because he said so. Like he had a lot of like. I know we're almost over time, so I'll make this quick. So he got to the point to where like he had to as he was brewing, he had to backtrack to multiple weeks back to finish up like to bottle that one or keg that one or
Yep.
he got a new piece of equipment then to use that. And this man's mind is just amazing. Actually, he has a really interesting job. He works for IBM, and all he does is think of stuff.
Mm.
Basically, that's his job. So like, after I knew that, for him to keep all this stuff organized the way he does, I was like, It was
Makes
still very
sense.
impressive, but
Yeah.
it made sense.
Well,
I know
and to
like his
like,
last few episodes were like sours. He was just really scared to try because they've been sitting around for like I don't know, like 9 months. He's like, "Hey, let's crack it open." Actually, no, he doesn't look too far away from me. He's like 4 or 5 hours away.
Huh.
and then
He's
to
allowed
like
go with
record
God.
all that stuff and put it
Oh yeah.
on
Right,
YouTube or
produce
wherever
it.
it is.
And he
Yeah.
has like 4 cameras that he would use too, and all all sorts of stuff. A
The amount of
brilliant
money,
guy.
the money, and just yeah. And then what do you do with all this beer?
Yeah. So all of his neighbors, like in his neighborhood, they're all beer drinkers. So they would
Okay.
come onto his show, and he would have them try it all.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yep. So when the pandemic happened, his daughter drank a lot of it. And she was there was just like a lot of beer she just didn't like.
She was 12. It was awkward.
Right.
No.
Those Tennessee laws.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah, that's the
all
recipe
right.
I would go with.
I think that sounds good. I'll take one. I do actually like it. The more I've drank it, the more I've had of it, the more it tastes delicious.
Too much gone on me.
But I just wanted to say thanks for tuning in, and go have a pint with your pals.
And make sure you drink responsibly.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.